Hey guys, Greg here, and today we're gonna do another F8 Gaming Analysis video. What controller should I choose? Fighting Game Edition. So what are the types of controllers? There are many controllers that people use, but they can be divided into 6 groups. Arcade stick, controller pad, hitbox, cross-up, keyboard, Hori, commander, and Razer Radeon. There's one kind of controller which only one person has found success with. There might be more, but I only know of one, and we'll talk about that controller in the end. Arcade sticks are meant to replicate the arcade setting where people were first introduced to fighting games. I'll be dividing this section into 3 groups. Arcade sticks that are less than $100 include the manufacturers Mayflash, Quamba, and Hori. These controllers may be cheap and look like a good deal, but these barely stack up against other arcade sticks higher than the price. The parts are unbranded as well as having low durability. Basically, you get what you paid for. This kind of investment is for people who just want to try an arcade stick if they like it or not. You also want to try it out of curiosity. Arcade sticks $100 to $200 are where you would find yourself in a good spot. Manufacturers are Quanba again, Mad Catz Tournament Series, and because Mad Catz, this is a specific series, which are in this parts. Mad Catz usually makes more expensive tournament sticks. Hori and Razer, and these are very common in this area. The parts are usually Sanwa, unless you're by Hori, which has its own Hayabusa buttons. The stick feels a little tighter and is a lot more durable. Unless you throw it around and beat on it, you're fine. It will last you longer and is for people who have established they like playing on arcade sticks or want to get a good one. It's a nice investment depending on how you use it. I would recommend getting this stick. You could get a console instead of these sticks, so be careful. So don't waste money on it if you're never going to use it. So what could possibly be higher than these sticks? Sticks around that are over 200 or around 300. So these are like luxury sticks. This is if you want the best of the best. The most common of is the Evo Tournament Series, and Quamba has also made some of these, and very few Razer and Hori sticks are in this range. These sticks are looser and have many features added in them as well Quieter buttons are one of them. These are durable, but can break if you're too hard on them. I wouldn't recommend these sticks unless you've got the money to spend on them. As of today, you could buy an Xbox One X 1TB console or a PlayStation 4 Slim/Pro 1TB. Of course, you could order your own parts and assemble it yourself. I would recommend this highly because it gives a unique touch to your arcade stick. You get a cheaper arcade stick and replace the parts with more expensive parts given the measurements fit. So you could get arcade stick that is less than $100, but then get the parts of a more expensive arcade stick, which could which would save you money. But this is only given if the measurements actually fit. No, okay, so this is a common misconception in the FGC. You do not need an arcade stick to play fighting games. The games were developed with the regular pad in mind. So these are just for people who liked the arcade stick, and this is how arcade sticks were first introduced in fighting games. Or there were more like fighting games were mostly common with. Okay, when fighting games first started out, you would play them on an arcade stick, so that's why people would want to get them. So controller pads are the most common because they come with the purchase of the home console you get. If you not use a pad, if you do want to use the pad, make sure to use a D-pad because analog controls can feel awkward for most traditional fighting games. So this doesn't include Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like traditional, same style as Dragon Ball FighterZ and Street Fighter V. So for PS4, the most common pads are the PS4 controller, PlayStation 1 analog controller, PlayStation 1 controller, and the PlayStation 3 controller. So for Xbox, there's the Xbox One S controller, One, and the One Elite controller. For the Nintendo Switch, there's the GameCube controller, the Pro controller, and its variants. So there's many controls that are similar to it, the Pro Controller, but they aren't the Pro Controller. And third-party D-pad Joy-Cons and the regular Joy-Cons. If you are gonna play any game, I wouldn't recommend the Joy-Cons. I would recommend Pro Controller or the GameCube controller. Hitboxes they became mainstream 2 years ago, and they're used for people who are used to a keyboard, and if you want precision in your attacks, then this is the controller for you. It has no joystick, it is all buttons, but it'll still work, and many people have found success with this controller, such as Cloud 805. Just like the arcade stick, you can customize and build your own. This is Daigo's hitbox, which he tried to use in a tournament a year ago. This hitbox was banned because there's 2 sets and buttons to move the character. So these are the directional, and then also here are also directionals. So the colored ones are, and then this one right here, these are all directional pads, buttons. So you can hold back and forward at the same time, and then you could attack like that. So cross-ups are a combination between arcade stick and a hitbox. You can build your own, but this product is super new. It will probably not be tournament legal, just like Daigo's hitbox, because you can hold back and forward at the same time. But regular controllers can also do this, but this is not going to be legal. For a keyboard, I suggest a gaming keyboard. The keyboard keys should be quiet, and for movement, you use something other than W, A, S, and D. You should use something uncommon, like for your keybinds. I wouldn't suggest the up, down, right, and left. You could use something like I, J, K, and L. It gives the same feel as W, S, and D, but it is different. So next, you have the Hori Commander series and the Racer Radeon. But they're both, as you can see, pads. Except, as I said, people prefer using the D-pad in these games because it is a lot less awkward. And so there's no analog controls on it at all. So the buttons are much bigger and a lot more clickier. There is an R1 and RB. There's an R1 and RB and an R2/RT on these controllers. The traditional next to where the traditional 4 buttons layout should be. So, and make sure that all these controllers are wired. So so let's say that you like the PS4 controller, but you have an Xbox One. So you can get an adapter given the controller is wired. For a PS4, make sure that adapter solves the 8-minute timeout issue that the PS4 has. So what is a surprise controller? It's a steering wheel. This controller was used by Initial D, and this picture comes from Corey Gaming, and there is a whole video on how he does it. So he doesn't actually turn it, he uses the D-pad to move around, and there's an anime called Initial D, so he's a steering wheel. He calls himself Initial D.